10 yards or so inside the Burnley half and just ran and eventually put in that ball into the back of the net to score United's second, which sealed their victory over Burnley at Old Trafford last night to advance to the League Cup quarter-finals. It was his 13th goal in 20 matches for Manchester United in all competitions. Boss Erik Ten Hag spoke after the full-time whistle, and this is what he made of his winger's performance.
He was running so often behind the defending line, and we have players who can deliver him the pass. But it's the most difficult pass in football, to bring the ball behind the defending line. So it's about the timing from the run, to scan the situation, to bring the pass there, and have the capabilities, the skills to bring the pass. But we have some players who can do that.
Okay, so that's Erik Ten Hag speaking about Marcus Rashford's performance. Joining us for more on Manchester United's big win last night, it is the Manchester football writer for The Guardian, Jamie Jackson. Jamie, good morning. How are you doing?
Jamie?
I'm good, thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Great to have you with us. So that goal last night for Marcus Rashford, absolutely sublime. Wasted no time, really, readjusting to being back in domestic action after being at the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. He obviously scored 3 times for England in Qatar with sort of limited game time. Yeah, because I think he only started one game and continued last night. I mean, he looks really good. The thing about Rashford, I think we all agree, he's got the tools. Yeah, he's really fast. He's direct. He likes to dribble. He's strong. And he's got the right attitude. He's an intelligent man, which I think helps. And what you saw in that goal yesterday, was kind of all those components coming together. The poor centre-back backed off because he was frightened. And, as you sort of described, or the clip describes, he zoomed from inside his own half, Manchester United's own half, all the way at the Stretford end, and then, put it past the Burnley keeper to hit to the keeper's right. And, kind of reminiscent a little bit of the famous Ryan Giggs goal in that 1999 FA Cup semi-final. Obviously, that was a higher stakes game, but you understand what I mean, a cup competition, that sort of player. And so the big question is, can he do it consistently? He's still only 25, Marcus Rashford. And I just feel with Ten Hag as his manager and where he is at the moment, now is the time. As I said, I think he's got all the tools, apart from maybe there is this question mark about can he keep on it consistently? But very good sign for Manchester United. I mean, what I would say is they have a big problem with goals. He's the top scorer in the Premier League for them, Marcus Rashford. He's only got 4. They've only got 20. The goal average or goal difference is 0. So that's a massive issue for them.
Jamie, tell us what you think has been the biggest difference to Marcus, because if you go back just over a year ago where, he couldn't make the England squad. Well, he made the England squad for the Euros, but wasn't, a regular starter. And yes, you could still make the debate today that, look, he wasn't in the team that played against France. But there's a clear indication that his career's completely changed.
Yeah, I think it is a mental question, mentality question with Marcus Rashford. I know all players, I suppose in any walk of life, they sort of, you thrive on confidence. And his confidence last season, I mean, it was shot. And so it became then a sort of a very bad vicious circle. He had no confidence, therefore that was affecting his play. And I remember one game, I can't remember exactly who it was, but he was so sort of at rock bottom that where we sit at Old Trafford, the ball came over towards him, sort of on our side, and I thought, this is sort of, as it's in the air, I think this is a regulation control coming here, but it's in front of his home crowd, it's in the air, is he going to mess this up? And he didn't, but that was kind of the level, sadly for him, he got to, he dropped to, whereby you were concerned he was going to make regulation mistakes, which, I would make as a useless footballer and not a sort of top professional. Now, as you're saying, Tony, he's completely turned it around. I think Erik Ten Hag's made a massive difference. You have to credit him. If you look at the sort of big decisions or the big issues Ten Hag's had to grapple with, this is obviously one of them. He goes in. Rashford is obviously a very good player, but where's his confidence gone? And then you got the Ronaldo thing. Ronaldo's gone now. That's a massive plus, I'd say. And his man management. Basically every player, apart from I suppose there are a couple. Jadon Sancho springs to mind. Have gone upward under him. So I think the manager has to take credit. But having said all this and the conversation we're having, I still think the jury is out with regard to can he do it week in, week out for 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons, like Harry Kane, for example. Score goals, be an X factor. Just because we've kind of been here before. I don't want to be too harsh because, as I say, he's only 25, but he has been in that first team since Van Gaal gave him debut for about 7 years now, since he was sort of 18. And he's sort of, he's kind of camouflaged to deceive. But yes, he's pulled himself around, and hopefully that will give him now the mental fortitude. Because I don't think you could get much worse. People were saying he's kind of finished at United. He's just not good enough. And there's no way now that is what the view is. So hopefully that will help him going forward.
It was the first game, Jamie, since Cristiano Ronaldo's high-profile exit. Yes. Are you anticipating that January could be busy? Will they look to try and fill the hole that he's now left?
Yeah, good question, Natalie. I think the sort of the information is that they are after someone, a striker, but only if it's the right fit. But to a certain extent, whoever buys a player who is not the right fit at any club. So that's kind of common sense, that last part. But that is kind of what we're being told. So yeah, I mean, I think that the funds are there, despite the sort of massive. I think it's a record outlay in the summer. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it's the best part of 200, I think, million. It might even have been more. So yeah, I think they will go looking. But it's tricky, isn't it? Obviously, the name that springs to mind, and I happen to see him in Qatar 2 or 3 times for the Netherlands, is Cody Gakpo. Yeah. He scored 3 times in 3 games there. He looks, I'm going to say, he looks a more complete forward than, say, Anthony, who Erik Ten Hag also brought over from Netherlands, and in that he can play across the front. Now, whether he can play as a centre forward, week in, week out for Manchester United is a big question, because it's a big club and that's a big position. But he certainly looks to have the technical abilities. He's a very good footballer as well. So there is sort of a prime candidate. Put it another way around, given what I just said, they've only scored 20 goals in the Premier League. If they don't get a striker in, well, in January, that could define their season. They obviously want top 4. They've got this Barcelona last 32 Europa League tie, need to get through. There's another sort of route into the Champions League and a trophy, obviously, if they win it. So I think it's very important, and I think he understands that, Ten Hag. But yeah, it's going to be tricky.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.